Three Drink Minimum Podcast episode. I'm not sure. Episode They Won Again. And like all the other games, was never in doubt. So what we're going to do here is just kind of recap like we always do, man. There's plenty of, we can go a lot of different directions. I'm sure we're going to touch on plenty of stuff here. It's crazy that they have been able to have this kind of success even without Forrest Lamp, who is one of the questions. Just let's not forget that Forrest Lamp has to be dead. I don't know what's going on with that dude, man. Just from watching it today, it actually didn't seem like the guards were that bad. Like, it didn't seem like they were the ones who were getting beat. Honestly, it was more Tevi and then Okung mixed in there a little bit, but to be able to have that kind of success on offense, they came out of the gates. Their first two offensive drives, they're averaging 13 yards per play, man. That's just ridiculous. Melvin Gordon looked fast. They were just Keenan was getting whatever he wanted to over the middle. It was really good stuff. Yes, and the best part about that first touchdown after Rivers threw a crazy dime, like back shoulder fade. I think it was Tyrell who caught it. And then Sturgis was amazing, man. Like, how is this guy continually getting these chances? And for whatever reason, let's just say that if he's on the roster tomorrow morning, I imagine there's going to be a lot of questions. Like, you can only defend him so much. Just wash your hands. You were wrong. Who cares? Nothing hurt. No games cost yet. So before he actually costs you a game, get out of here. So, yeah, he's got to go. The Keenan bomb was nuts, man. It was 3rd and 15, and he runs like a little double move, and he just ate the corner up, and the safety was nowhere to be found. What I liked a lot about this game was, so Seattle's pass defense is actually really, really good, and you would not be able to tell that at all by watching this game. They had what Rivers went – he went for 228, but I feel like he could have got a lot more just in the game. So I thought the Chargers pretty much did what they wanted to until Wiz just kind of got a little conservative there. But the only reason they brought him back was for touchbacks, and he hasn't even been getting those. Yeah, he really hasn't. Not Sturgis, or it's not Jones' fault, that's for sure. But I mean, we don't just have to keep it there. There was plenty of good to take away from the game. It wasn't good, however, to come off a bye week and give up an opening touchdown. From there, I was thinking, damn, this is about to be like a real high-scoring game. But the defense kind of locked it in, man. They just started tackling better, honestly. The Seahawks don't have really too many weapons. I thought that they would try to use Doug Baldwin a lot more than they did. They didn't. So for whatever reason, their plan of attack was to run the ball and keep the ball out of the Chargers' hands, which is probably one of the ways that you are going to have to beat the Chargers. Let me see what the time of possession was. Time of possession. So it was 35-24 in the Seahawks' favor. So, like, that is working, but when you do that, can't throw a pick six, and you're going to have to score, and they didn't do that. So, big game from Dez. Is Mike Davis really an upgrade over Trevor Williams? I don't think so. They're both on this year. They both haven't been good. Mike Davis is a supreme tackler. Like, he's really – you can tell just like how he breaks down, and he's not going to give up a big play in that regard, like as far as yards after the catch. But what does that matter if you can't, prevent them from getting a catch? They're probably going to have to address that position in the offseason. I'm sure it's going to be a pretty big priority. I'm not sure who's available, but I imagine that one of these teams that are able to open it up are going to probably target whoever that is on the other side of Casey Hayward. But it's not like Hayward's been crushing it either. But again, man, if they can just get these timely turnovers and timely sacks like they got today, they're going to be so good. Like, they have a chance to be really, really good. I thought they did a good job in that 2-minute drill right before the half. They were able to get a touchdown, so that was good. Hey, Kyle, what's up with the Chargers offense being shut down 2 weeks in a row in the second half? Yeah, I think they just lost their aggression. It didn't feel like they were really throwing the ball down the field in the second half. They weren't attacking like they were in the first half. It seemed like they were really just trying to get out of there and escape with a win. Oh, my goodness. Somebody said Lynn is still defending Sturgis in the press conference. Maybe they're related. Who knows? There's no way to there's honestly no way to defend how he's played. And it could just be, just take it at face value, and he'll be out of there pretty soon. One thing, man, just today was another day about Rivers just doing work in the pocket. He was like really, really good. There's one play where I thought he had Gordon and he led him, and Gordon dropped it. I don't know if it was second or third down, but it was second and long, and Rivers avoided a couple rushers, and then he climbed the pocket and like made a play to Gordon, and he dropped it. And there was another one where the Mike Williams catch down the deep pass where it looked like, that he had position and he had both hands on it, he just couldn't come down with it. Those are probably the catches that you want Mike Williams to make, man. If he's going to be like, that's your first round receiver, that's the catches that you want to make. There was another play that was kind of weird. It was they ran like a reverse to Keenan Allen, and then they had him like they would have had it. He could have pitched it to Melvin Gordon. That was interesting, man. They haven't busted that out this year, so we'll see what other wrinkles they uncover. It didn't work, but whatever. It's good. It's just good to see that there's more to the playbook. Like, they can do a lot more. Thoughts on 94 today? I thought Corey Liuget balled out, man. He gave Fluker a run. Like, he basically put Fluker on his back a couple times, and he blew up a couple runs in the backfield because of it. I thought just basically his energy levels, he was active today, and they really needed that inside. He finished the game with 3 tackles for loss, and he also had a quarterback hit. So, yeah, man, if the Seahawks line is not very good, and we are all aware of that, but you still have to go out and do it, and you still have to go out and perform. So it's good to see. It's good to see Liuget get that kind of production. I'm trying to think who else had a good game on the line there. They finished with 4 sacks, which is good. I know a couple of those. I want to say 3 of those were a direct result from Russell Wilson holding the ball. Like, a dive beat the running back, and that was a sack. But from what I remember, I don't think the other 3 sacks were because of like a good pass rush. It honestly seemed just like Russell Wilson was holding the ball and just running into sacks. So good on them in that regard. Who is pushing the Keenan run plays? I don't know, man, but honestly, he's been like really successful on his runs this year. I was looking at like some stats the other day where like he was like high on Football Outsiders, a little DVOA thing. I don't know. I don't know who's pushing them, but they can keep coming on, man. Wasn't it the very first play of the game where Keenan had it? Keenan had the run. So he had 2 carries for 14 yards. Okay, so it was a 28-yard run. Yeah, I think that was early on in the game. I love seeing that, man. I love getting your best players the ball. Keep that up, man. It's frustrating that the Chargers offense is so inefficient on third down. So, I don't think that they were, over the course of the season, I don't think they've been good. Today they were 2 for 9. I think what makes it most frustrating is because how easy it is to see them move the ball. Like, they can move the ball at any time, whenever they want to. Phillip does a really good job of getting them in the right play. But yeah, man, they get to these third and sevens, and they either get too cute, try to do too much, or they just can't. They just don't have the time to, like, somebody like Tevy will get beat and the play blows up. So no, that's a good point, because so we know like how well, like, if you just take the first 2 drives and see how easy that was for them, like that's the kind of offense that they can be. They really can be that explosive. do what they want against a really good defense. But third downs, they for whatever reason, they tend to shoot themselves in the foot. So, yeah, man, they're gonna have to get consistent, but they can get there. It's going to be over the next couple of games. I think that they'll be able to do so because they have a super favorable schedule. So they should be able to keep this win streak rolling. It's frustrating. So did Nwosu play? He did play. I don't know how many snaps he got. I don't think that he made any impact. I remember him chasing down Russell Wilson on one play after he scrambled, but from what I remember, I don't think Nwosu played. And honestly, since that Nwosu was credited for a QB hit. Since that first sack he had like on the first play, he does look out of his depth. He has great energy, but for what I don't know, he doesn't have like a counter. He doesn't have something that he wants to do. He doesn't have a plan when he's rushing the passer, and can't do that at this level, man. So that's why he hasn't been playing. And I know we were all clamoring for him to get more snaps, but I can see why he doesn't if you just kind of watch him closely. Nice seeing Phylon come back out after being carted off. He's been solid this year. Yeah, that would have been a big blow. Whenever they bring the card out, usually like, damn, like he's probably going to be out for a while, if not the whole season. But he came back out, and he gives them just more depth. That's what they need. Him and Legit are solid up front, man. And if you can have solid with a guy like Ingram on the outside, that's really all you need. And, yeah, if Bosa does come back, the defense will be really, really good. So, who do you want the Chargers to pick in the first round? I have no idea. I have watched more college football this year, more than I usually do, but I mean, there's no way for me to know that right now. I would say, like, my initial reaction is to take a corner, but they just loaded up on defense, and it seems like, just judging by what Tom Telesco does, they go offense, defense, so it'll probably be offense this year, and it better be a first-round kicker. No argument here, man. This is obviously no, but they have – for what they're doing with Sturgis, they're just asking for – you're just playing with fire. Like, come on, man. What else do we got here? So I was pretty impressed by the Chargers to get some points out of the 2-minute drill, knowing that they were going to get the ball back. And even though they didn't score, their defense held them. So that was good to see. The Dez pick six was huge. That was just a really good play by him. It was just like a regular cover 3. And Russell Wilson just didn't see him like he thought he was going to go. They thought that he was going to run up the field, and he just broke off and pick 6, man. That was good. Once again, it felt like Eckler was underutilized. It honestly didn't seem like this was a game for Eckler. I know that's weird to say, but if just the way that Melvin Gordon was running the ball, I wouldn't have taken it out of his hands either. I do wish that they could have got both involved more in the passing game. Both just had 1 catch. Gordon actually had 4 targets. Eckler had 2. So I do want them to – and I imagine if they would have got more targets, they would have had some success. But, yeah, they both those guys are really good with the ball in their hands, so why not continue that in the passing game? Time to replace Denzel. I don't really honestly don't really remember how he was today. I know that it seemed like Jatavis was in on a lot of plays, whether it's for the good or the bad. Box score says, yeah, so Jatavis had 11 tackles. Denzel Perryman had 4. So, I mean, that kind of tells you there. Man, it's kind of frustrating watching Perryman in pass coverage because if there's somebody like 4 yards off the line of scrimmage that's underneath, it is so obvious that that's the guy he should be guarding. And he always gives him like so much space. And I don't know if he just is scared to get beat over the top or what, but he does that a lot, and I don't like it at all. What else did you guys see today, man? It was pretty it's weird to say that after the Seahawks scored in the fourth quarter, even with them driving to tie the game, I didn't feel like that they were going to score on the last play, and I didn't feel like they would have got the conversion. It just never felt like they were going to win the game or like they were in control. And I don't know. And that's easy to say after the fact there, but you could, like, if you guys saw me watching the game, I really didn't get that feeling. Gordon finished with 7 yards a carry. That was really good. 16 carries, 113 yards. Keenan went over 100 yards, 10 targets, 6 catches. Jatavis had a bunch of tackles. Derwin had a bunch of tackles. 4 sacks is good. Limited. What did Russell Wilson do? 26 to 39, 235. And I would love to know how much that was at the those last couple of drives where the game wasn't out of reach, obviously, but it just seemed like a lot of that came at the end there. I honestly felt like the defense played as well as they have all year outside of that first drive, just from a tackling standpoint too. It just seemed like they played fast, so that was good. Let me see here. I have no idea if they're going to add those guys. I don't know how you could watch Rivers and think that, oh, they might go get a quarterback. Seems like the Chargers need more dynamic than Denzel. Yeah, that's true. They just need to be faster. Yeah, Meeban's good. Meeban's been good all year, man. He there's nothing really for his role, for what they asked him to do and for what he can do. He's been very good in that regard. It's just too bad that, stopping the run is just not that important. The Seahawks ran for 154 yards today, and that includes like the last scrambles that Russell Wilson had, but they run for 154 yards today, and it didn't feel like they were doing anything on offense. I don't know. So it's stopping the run is just incredibly overrated. Our third and fourth ones are really bad compared to the rest of the D stats. Our third and fourth, I'm guessing that means conversions. What do I think of the Derwin penalty? Yeah, so Derwin came off of one receiver, and he ended up he put his helmet to the guy's chest, and he got called for an unsportsmanlike live. I didn't think so. I didn't think that was a penalty at all. Obviously, on the replay, when it's going frame by frame, super slow-mo, you can call it a penalty, but I don't think that was. I feel like just gotta let him play, man. It's football, and it wasn't malicious at all. He wasn't trying to hurt him. He just got he hit him that's what you want. You want to hit him in that midsection there, and that's what he did. That's what you're coached to do. Concerned about King as a punt returner, was Dixon just a beast? It seemed like King was more unsure today than what he ever was. I thought that he was going to have a big return on one of them. If you guys remember, he was running, and then he just stopped and kind of let the dude tackle him on a punt. And obviously the first one where he returned to the 6-yard line, you just can't do that. Just take it down. Just take a knee, whatever. So what do you think about that sack by Dye? The sack? So, it was actually a good play. I think he shook the running back or did something, but the dance should have got a flag, should have kicked him out of the stadium. It was one of the worst dances I've ever seen. I never want to see him do the robot or anything ever again. I was watching it just oh man, it was cringeworthy. Get this dude out of here, man. But it's cool to see him make a play. It's cool to see him around the scrimmage and active, so that's good. I love how they trapped Meebane with an old snap on the first drive. We barely bit again. Yeah, Russell Wilson's hard count is actually really, really good. So he got Ingram. Yeah, he got Ingram on a long play too. And whenever Ingram gets offsides, if you watch the play where he jumped, he just this dude will just stay there. He doesn't even finish. He doesn't finish the play. He'll just stand there. And that's the worst thing you can do. Funny, on that same play, Derwin was camped under it, ready to catch the INT, and Phillips tips it away. So love when that happens. Since Legion came back, Charger 4-0. Coincidence? I think not. Give him a 5-year, $50 million extension. Now we're cooking. What I'm going to try to do, now that you said that, I don't know what I can do or how I can fudge the numbers. I need to find any stat that Legit is leading in, so I can make it seem like the Chargers have to pay him and that he's going to be the best D tackle in the league. And I can guarantee you at least 10 people will respond you idiot, blah, blah, blah. But it works every time. Legion's been good, man. He in his role, the same thing like Meba and what they're asking him to do. He brings energy, and he's making plays. Yeah, Kyle Emanuel's constantly missing tackles. I don't know what's going on with him. Well, I know what's going on with him. He's just like athletically limited, and they ask him to play in space. So with Rayshon Jenkins out, Kyle Emanuel was playing more underneath coverage. I don't know what fixation they have with Kyle Emanuel and him playing out in space, but yeah, he missed a couple ones today, and it was ugly. Like he just didn't have a shot, and it's so obvious that he's not going to have a shot. But they keep doing it. They keep tossing him out there, man. Maybe it's just to keep things close. That's what we'll call it. What are you guys eating tonight? I am eating Giordano's. I don't know how you guys feel about deep dish pizza. Hate it. Did not go to Giordano's to get deep dish pizza. I got a sub, got some dessert, and as soon as we get done here, going to go to work on that. So who they got? They have the Raiders next week. So essentially they have another bye week. So new rule, when you go on a 5-game win streak, you actually are afforded 2 byes in a row. So that's really cool. I really like the fact that Roger Goodell did that for the Chargers. So what, 6-2 now. They got Raiders, Broncos, Cardinals. Broncos are going to be the toughest out of that just because I don't know. Something's always weird about just playing them. They have a solid defense, and they do still, even with trading Demaryius Thomas, they still do have weapons. So that won't be an easy one. I do think they're going to win all 3 games, but I think that'll be the toughest one of the 3. Deep dish is the best. No, it is not. And I will not take any arguments for that. I don't know, man. Deep dish is like so this like Chicago style deep dish, it just gets so sloppy, and one bite and your pizza's like already a mess. Like it's already over. Panda Express, solid, but I like even more like simpler. Like I don't know if you guys have ever had Waba Grill. Just like teriyaki, chicken, rice. Throw some veggies in there if you want. If you're a fatty like me, you get extra chicken. I'm eating Lamburger Helper, not a typo. See, that like made me have a typo out loud. I've honestly never heard that. Obviously, I'm guessing it is just how it sounds. It also sounds very good. Lamb is also very good. 3 wins. Then the Steelers. Whoa, somebody came in with a haymaker. Talk about a freaking humble brag. I smoked some brisket tonight. That's going to be really good. There's this barbecue joint right by my work, and I had a little brisket slider for lunch the other day, man. Brisket, you can never go wrong with it. It's undefeated. 3 wins in the Steelers. Yeah, so let's talk about this. When are the Chargers going to lose a game? Obviously, they're the best team in the NFL. It's pretty clear that. Unlike the other team in LA, they won today. And unlike the other team in LA, they actually don't they won without their best defensive players. So they don't need their defensive players to win a game. The Steelers, I don't know. I actually don't think Big Ben has been very good this year, but obviously AB will bail him out, and they're going to score a bunch of points. But the Chargers, man, they can score. They can score with anybody too. Somebody told me this today that if the Steelers won today, that Week 13, because that Week 13 Sunday Night Football game is who is it? It's Seahawks and 49ers. So that's obviously going to get flexed. So there's a chance that it'll be It's Chargers, Steelers, it's Vikings, Patriots, and there's 2 lesser games, but it'll be between those 2 to get flexed. And I think, Patriots are on TV every week, man. So they got a chance to be flexed. So they go from like no primetime games to Steelers, Ravens, Chiefs, all in December. That'd be cool, man. Get a little notoriety, get a little public love, media love. The Broncos edge rushers against the Chargers tackles will always keep them in the game. Yeah, that's true, man. Von Miller's Von Miller, and I imagine Chubb will. If I was the Broncos, I just line Von Miller up every time against Tevy. He's going to win that a lot. Deep dish Deep dish is pizza cake. I don't know, man. We could honestly talk about this, and maybe we should have done this last week and just had like a giant food podcast, because I can talk about food all day. Love food. I My sub is actually not chick parm. It's chick parm sub Alfredo, because Alfredo greater sign Parmesan, not close. Thank you for playing. Jatavis watch. Jatavis is active. He's good. He missed some tackles, but he's flying around. I think the thing with the defense is all these guys are flying around. So if one guy does miss a tackle, there's somebody like right there to scoop him up or clean him up to take him down. So that happened a couple times today with Emmanuel, where Emmanuel's just like lunging, and like Derwin was there to pick him up, or another linebacker was there. So, yeah, Jatavis is fine. So no complaints there. Who will start first? Ooh, this is a good one. Who will start first, Forrest Lamp or Joey Bosa? I think the answer is Joey Bosa. I don't think that. Oh man, I don't know if I want to say this, but I don't think that we see Forrest Lamp. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and that'll be my hot take, that we don't see Forrest Lamp this year. So you see that article that Henry might come back, or they change that up every week, I swear. The headline is Hunter Henry is ahead of schedule next week. Chargers not optimistic that Hunter Henry will make a return this week, or today on Sunday Countdown is what I guess it was, is that Schefter said, what did he say? Oh, yeah, that they're optimistic that he's going to make a return and be activated from IR next month, which obviously would be great, because that ball that that Virgil Green had, like he had it here, and like the linebacker he had his hands on it. It would have been a really tough catch, but I think Hunter Henry makes those catches. I think he also helped them on third down, so that kind of ties back into one of the earlier questions. Have you heard anything about Lamp or Bosa? No. Just the thing about Bosa was that he's going to play. So from what I've heard, Bosa is going to play this year. We don't have to worry about like him getting surgery. It's a matter of when he will play that I am not too sure of. But ideally, he comes back for one of these, like, I'll say lesser games, so that he can kind of build up his stamina. So for like when the Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, Chiefs, those are going to be tough, man. So that they can get him back for those games. But they need him. And there were plenty of times today where they could have used him, just like every other game. But these next 3 games, they can probably get by without him. But December, that's the time when you need good old number 99 out there. So next year's bye week, the KP Food Show. 100% down. We can do breakfast, lunch, dinner, talk about all the different kind of sandwiches we eat, what kind of breakfast. If you guys think that pancakes are an actual main meal, please do not click, because we will not be talking about a side dish, which is what pancakes are. Okay, I think that, man, what else is there to talk about? The Chargers won. It's so weird to say that it was a convincing game when the Seahawks were on the 1-yard line, but at the bottom of my heart, I do not believe that the Chargers was ever in doubt. 6-2, have a bye week next week, which is great. Then they come back, and I don't know if it's the Cardinals or the Broncos. It's one of the two, but have a chance to reel off 3 more before the quote unquote playoff schedule hits, before the actual playoffs. But I think it's looking more and more like this team can. It's looking more that this team can make the playoffs and actually do some damage. So we will see. Got to take care of the bad teams still. And somebody this morning, like before the game, they're asking me, will the Chargers be able to keep it close just because they haven't played anybody? So you can only play who's on your schedule. And so now in hindsight, that loss to the Chiefs, people think like, oh, it wasn't, like they didn't have a shot. But anybody who watched the game, you realize the Chargers should have won that game. If they had Stickum, they would have won that game. I don't think the Rams game was very close, but they just weren't prepared. And I think another meeting against the Rams will be a lot different. I'm not saying that they'll win, but I don't think it'll be that big of a quote unquote mismatch blowout. So I don't know, man. I think we are starting to see a good team, and what we've seen consistently as of late is the Chargers be able to get out ahead. So that is a sign that they are prepared. And as long as Sturgis is not on the roster by the time we talk again, I think all will be well. So big win by the Chargers, man. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back this time next week after yet another victory. Go team.